एवं ब्रूणाम बलखिला योगमाया विद्या विचक्षणमवेक्ष्य गताधिरासि संप्रक्षय प्रणय विफलया गिरीश बलोक विलस दर्शिताननाः एवं ब्रुवाणमबलाखिलयोगमाया विद्या विचक्षणमवेक्षय गताधिरासि संप्रश्रया प्रणयवेह विलाय गिरीश व्रीडावलोक विलसत् रसिताननाः
thus Brahmanam speaking Abala, the woman, Akila, all Yogamaya of transcendental science, Vidya Vichakshanam, excelling in knowledge, Avekshya, after hearing, Gata Adihi, satisfied, Asit, she became, Samprasraya, with humility, Pranaya, and with love, Vihvalaya, choked up, Gira, with voice, Ishat, slightly, Vrida, bashful, Avaloka, with a glance, Vilasat, shining, Hasita, smiling, Anana, her face, Aha, she spoke. Upon hearing the speaking of her husband, who excelled in knowledge of all kinds of transcendental science, innocent was very satisfied. Her smiling face shining with a slightly bashful glance, she spoke in a choked voice because of great humility and love. It is said that if one is already engaged in Krishna consciousness and is rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord, then it can be supposed that he has finished all the recommended courses of austerity, penance, religion, sacrifice, mystic yoga, and meditation. Devothi's husband was so expert in the transcendental science that there was nothing for him to argue about. When she heard him speak, she was confident that since he was very much advanced in devotional service, he had already surpassed all the transcendental educational activities. She had no doubt about the gifts offered by her husband. She knew that he was expert in offering such gifts. And when she understood that he was offering the greatest gift, she was very satisfied. She was overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and therefore she could not reply. Then, with faltering language, just like an attractive wife, she spoke the following words. I neither have any qualification nor do I have any realization. I do this for my purification. I hope and pray you get benefit out of it. So I need blessings of practically everyone. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Devahuti was married to Kardamuni, and after having received the the gifts, spiritual gifts from Kardamuni, she became overwhelmed. And that is the sloka today actually. Evam Brahmanam Avilakala Yogamaya Vidya Vichakshanam Aviksha Gatadirasid Samprasraya Pranay Halaya Gireshid Predavalakvilsid Distananaha. So husband should be spiritually very advanced, and a wife should follow the husband, executing bhakti. That should be the goal of life. Rest all details. We should orchestrate our life in such a way we come and chant our rounds nicely. That will come if our goal is purification of the life. What is that? Yeah. So that will come, whatever we do in our life, our goal should be, I should chant my rounds nicely. Everything in our life should be orchestrated in such a way we focus on chanting our rounds so that we make progress. We make that as a priority when our advancement, when our goal is to make progress in bhakti. Because whether it is irrespective of which ashram we are in, Kali Yuga is very destructive to everyone. Kali Yuga is very destructive to everyone. Not only grosthas but brahmachari also. Not only brahmacharis but practically every ashram. Unless somebody is very focused, unless one's goals are, unless our goals are not very clear, unless goals are clear, we may tend to drift away from the active, effective devotional service. So I want to take this opportunity, Anishtita Bhakti. Sometimes I am chanting my rounds, but still, after this many years also, same, I'm the same boat. One time, one devotee in Gitanagari retreat asked, when we hear about Haridas Thakur, Suklambar Brahmachari, when we hear all these advanced stories, it is actually frustrating because after 10 years also, I am where I was 10 years ago. I'm in the same place. I don't see so much, I see my impurities staring at me. So we are in the material world for a very long time. So for that reason, we have developed taste for the matter. When the pure spirit soul, Sachidananda spirit soul, starts identifying with the temporary material body, then the mind, which is actually in mode of goodness, changes to passion. When mind changes to passion, it gives so much trouble. It becomes very fruitive. In other words, like, you have a child, but you pamper the child so much, the child starts giving trouble. So I should not have done this. Then what happens? The mind that is in passion starts giving so much trouble. Karmatmakam ena sarira bandha. So, impelled by false ego, we start thinking we are this body. Then the mind starts giving so much trouble. Default mind is in mode of goodness. But now what happened? Because we are identifying with the material body, impelled by false ego, mind, until such time, mind will be like that only. So, honestly speaking, when somebody is in Krishna consciousness for 3 to 5 years sincerely, they learn the philosophy. Even if they are sincere in Bhagavatam class, they can acquire the knowledge. But what the problem for anyone is, this colored mind, which is in Rajagun, which is so fruitive, it has to change back to its original position. Until such time, it doesn't work. You know? That's why there is a systematic process given by acharyas where you will slowly undo, what you have been doing for so many lifetimes. Not that we don't know about previous lifetimes. This lifetime also, we have employed the same techniques to grow materially. But when it comes to spirituality, that will become actually a drawback. Because we need to undo certain things. So, Prabhupada says initiation is the beginning. Initiation is the beginning. And once you get initiated, once you receive initiation, then our practice starts. Anardha nivritti to Nishta is a very long process. Actually, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, they go very fast. What doesn't go very fast is Anardha nivritti. Why? It is our problem. Because of our association with matter for so long, we experience. Actually, no, I'm projecting it. Okay. No, but Zoom, everyone is seeing the screen.
No, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu.
One second. Okay, I mean it's not.
Yes, Prabhu. It is visible.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Watch it. I'm sorry. So, I mean, honestly speaking, I thought this is better rather than, it's very lengthy. Let us see how much we can complete. So, our anarthas are 4 types. What will impede our progress? What is stopping us? One time, Radhanasan said, any project, it has it is an uphill task. It has to climb like this. Not only ISKCON temples, but any project, the material world, they launched a project. So, first break even, after that, the sales has to pick up. At one point, it will cross that threshold, then success. Okay, you start a restaurant. So it has to break even, still uphill task. Then a threshold, then it is down the hill. He said, this project, it is still going up the hill. I want to wait and see for some more time. So likewise, Anardha nivritti is an uphill task. But Nishta onwards, it is actually downhill. Nishta onwards, a downhill task. So it is once what is that? Nobody wants to invest on things where you don't get the result. Yes or no? Sometimes it's frustrating. Will you study any course for 10 years? No, you will not study. You know, if 3-4 times you fail, you give it up actually. But for somehow, if you can slip over to Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, zup. Actually, it will happen probably sometimes same year. Sometimes it takes few days. That was very surprising. Bharat Maharaj attained the Bhava stage. Means in couple of days to come, he'll attain Brahma. That's where Maya came and took him actually. But right now, so neophytes, for them to make progress, they need the association of pure devotees. But because of the selfishness, greed, and all these impurities, they don't know how to deal with the senior devotees. Pure devotees, Mahabhagavad devotees. Second thing is because of that taking for granted mentality, they will offend them and they go down. Everyone is listening. Even though he has some enthusiasm, first of all, they don't know how to deal with them, or in their enthusiasm, sometimes they commit offenses. So that's why it's better to learn about the different anarthas which will impede our progress, so that we can put a full stop to all these things and jump to the next one, Nishtita Bhakti. So anarthas are 4 types. First one is offenses. Actually, I didn't. It was a brahmachari class for us, and I thought, I found it very good, and that's why I'm sharing it. So, what are the 4 types of anarthas that we have? What's the one? Offenses we commit. 2, asat trishna. Trishna means desires. Asat, it has no value. Sat and asat, temporary. And the third one, a weakness of the heart. Hridaya Daurbalyam. You know this is wrong, still you'll do it. The fourth one, Tattva Brahma. You have a misunderstanding. You don't properly conclude things as they are. They are called Tattva Vibhrama. Brahma of the Tattva. What is Tattva? Probably I used to preach in one place. And one person, he would start, he had some idea about some Gita, whatever. He would mix everything, left and right, and he tried to conclude his own philosophy. Prabhupada says anything, the success behind the Hare Krishna movement, anything I have done great, only one thing. I did not add anything, I did not subtract anything. I gave it as it is. Whatever is given by my spiritual master, and he gave the credit to Saraswati Thakur. So the point is, these are the 4 anarthas. Even though we are chanting, if we are still lingering in this, if we are still going around this 4, after 30 years also we'll be there only. So I felt this is very important to discuss, so that, whoever has the strength to put a full stop, they'll go to the next level. You're understanding that? So, offenses, there are 4 types. What is that? Offenses are 4 types. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, what is that? Holy name, deities, devotees, and other jivas we commit offenses, especially the offenses that we commit up during chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he says, what is that one offense that triggers all the 9 offenses? Inattention. What is that? Inattention. Inattention, what is that? Inattention is the cause of the other offenses. And also not only we commit offense to the holy name, we commit offense to the deities. The only one person in Vrindavan who would follow etiquette is Mother Malati Prabhu, Mother Malati. I mean, in Vrindavan, like, you have to, especially with regards to deities. In a day, we have to go through a temple 10 times, 15 times. First time when we come to the temple, we would offer obeisances, knock the door, offer the obeisances, come, attend Mangalarti. While leaving, offer obeisances, go. Perfect. But you do this 20 times. Afternoon, Rajagun starts. You're so busy, you think your things are, I'm talking about myself, I did it actually throughout my life. And and once you reach the door, I did this n number of times. Means the service I am doing for you is very important, my lord. Krishna says, look, I'm telling her, I'm regretting now. But I saw her, however busy she would be. She would knock the door, offer obeisances, and come to the end of the door, she would offer obeisances and go. She never changed this. Always. I said, oh, this is great. So, offenses towards holy name, the 10 offenses one has to consciously avoid. And second is the offenses to the deities. Offenses to the deities we have to avoid. Rupa Goswami mentions 32 Seva Prada, 10 Nama Pradas are there. 32 Seva Pradas given in Padma Puran. Again, another 32. So total, 64, I think. Yeah, he mentions it. 32 Seva Pradas he mentions in Nectar of Devotion, in Sadhana Bhakti. And offenses to the devotees. Offenses to the devotees and offenses to the other jivas. Somebody asked, then what about offense to the dham? Yes, that is also there. If you visit the holy place, you should avoid offense to the dham. By being very careful, by being very carefully dealing with dham, we can avoid dhama prada also. So should I continue? So
Yes,
how
Prabhuji.
do I know I'm still I'm still performing unsteady bhakti, anistita bhakti? Very simple. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says laya means when you are chanting, you are falling asleep. It's mode of ignorance, means you still have impurity. Vikshepa, you are getting distracted while chanting. Then that is another sign. What is that? Apratipatti. Apratipatti means sometimes you are very enthusiastic, sometimes zero interest. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. 13 rounds or 15th round or 16 rounds, I think it's like that really. Disinterest, apratipatti. Second thing is kashaya. Kashaya means wrong behavior. Wrong behavior. Prabhu, can you bring my slippers? It's like an oxymoron language. Prabhu, can you bring my slippers? I'm talking about myself actually, I'm honest. I'm expert in this, in offending. So, what is kashaya? Wrong behavior. And then the last one is rasa swada. Not prema rasa, but you have a taste for the material enjoyment. Acha lagta hai aapko. So if you have, again, what is the first one? Laya. Laya means you're falling asleep, while class and while chanting. Either you don't have enough rest, or your body is triggering ignorance. Third one, vikshepa, you're getting distracted. Actually, sometimes what people do after few years of Krishna consciousness, they give it up actually. They don't fight. Because anyway, I can't. And Mahatma Prabhu came up with 20 areas of inattentive chanting actually one time. You know, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, driving and chanting, talking and chanting, cell phone and chanting. I see sign, you know, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna. He said, when somebody calls you, when they are talking, you chant. Some people chant while Bhagavatam class. I mean, during Bhagavatam class. Anyway, these 5 things, rasasvada, I mean, behavior that is unfit for the wrong behavior or behavior that is unfit for being a Vaishnava, that is called a kashaya. Rasasvada means a taste for material enjoyment. These 5 things are there. We should know we are still in the unsteady devotion. But there is, what is that? Good news is, because you're attending Bhagavatam class, because you're chanting the holy name, Kleshagni, your material, they're all burned. Subhada, it's very auspicious. You have made a lot of progress. These 2 things will happen to you. Even though bhakti is unsteady, what are the two things will happen to us? Kleshagni, the way the suffering that goes in the material world, you don't need to. If you're relieved of so much of pain, and it's very auspicious. So, but in order to avoid continuing unsteady bhakti, actually, first of all, what will prolong our unsteady bhakti? You want to hear? Before I continue on the offenses, one is our committing offenses during bhakti. Second is unwanted habits which are triggering inattention in sadhana. Second thing is what is that? Bhakti-yutta. Bhakti-yutta means while performing bhakti, you do mistakes. While performing bhakti also, you do mistakes. Somebody is on the altar, we do mistakes. Our day-to-day activities, when we deal with other people, we do mistakes. So all these things, they trigger some more offenses. There is saying, impure heart will generate impure thoughts. So these things, they keep on generating, they pushing us in an unsteady area. So let us discuss these 4 things. First one, we learned offense to the holy name. Second one, offense to the deities, 32 seva pradas. The third one, offense to the devotees. This is deadly. We should not criticize anybody. As much as possible, we should not hear the criticism. One time I asked His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, on the altar also, sometimes while dressing, I hear Maharaj. I said, really, on the altar? Yes, ma'am. This is like 15 years. He said, don't act on it. But what can you do? He said, don't act on it. So, devotees, sometimes actually I want to make a point here. I don't want to offend him, that's why I accepted the service. One brahmachari told me, it is not easy to commit offense. For the offense to commit, one has to be very envious towards that person, and with an intention to put that person, you have to act, either speak or do. Then only offense will come. Somebody will come, temple management will come and say, oh, can you do the service? I don't have time, I cannot do that. That's not offense. Everyone is under. I had so many devotees told me, I cannot say, I don't want to offend the authority, that's why I did it. Offense, sin is different, offense is different. For offense to happen, there should be an element of envy. And with that, you purposefully put that person down by speaking, what do you want? So what do you want? Don't ask me to speak about that person. Anyway, it's very good. Already you conveyed a message. Yes, sir. That are there deadly. with an intention to put that other person down, deadly actually. And other jivas. We should actually know one lecture I heard, we should not offend non-devotees what to speak of devotees. The next one is material desires.
Can we write the three ones, like what lingers are offenses? The first one.
First one is aparadhotta. Aparadhotta means you commit offenses. You know? No, actually, no, this is the thing. What continues, actually, now I'm going this in detail, but what will continue that, I took myself out and I just spoke. If you ask me, I'll explain this later. Let us finish this, because that itself is a separate topic. I'm thinking, if everyone is available, how to shift from unsteady bhakti to steady bhakti, how many of your holidays coming, right? It's Saturday, first. 4 days. Thursday, Friday also holiday. If everyone actually last we did some holy name seminar I did. So if you want, I can do this actually because it's very lengthy. If everyone comes, not like there will be one person sitting in the tent in the Zoom call. It's very frustrating actually. I don't know how many actually. Bhakti Swami one time I said, Maharaj, can you give the class? First thing Maharaj said, hey, can you all come? Unmute your video. Krishna consciousness is very personal. And Giriraj Maharaj, can you all unmute? And Chandrasekhar Maharaj, all the sannyasis. They said, can you? Otherwise, it's like Gaurav Prabhu said, it's like a black Brahman. He used that word actually. So, and very well, it's like work from home, say like, listening Zoom is like, you don't even really, So anyway, the offense is to the holy name. Honestly speaking, I'm cutting it short. They're very lengthy each topic. Second one is deities. 32 Seva brothers, those of you attended Nectar Devotion, that's mentioned. Devotees, no, we should not offend devotees. If we really want to lose our bead bag, first one, what is the first offense? Last one, the devotees. And other jivas, we should not offend anybody actually. And the next one is asatrishna. What is the second one? Asatrishna. If you want, I can focus only first one and continue because they are all lengthy. I thought it's already 9 o'clock actually. But anyway, we'll see just superficially, probably we'll expand on these things. Asatrishna, the word itself is very nice. Asatrishna. How many of you heard the word Mrigatrishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is like going and drinking water from Mrigatrishna. Alright, there is no water. Mrigatrishna means marriage. Nobody can drink water from marriage. Likewise, it appears the pleasure is there, but it's not there. In fact, every pleasure in this material world is associated with pain. Every pleasure in this world is associated with pain. We are standing under shower for a long time, but when you dry your body, it will become, you feel very cold. Body has to become cold. So sometime one person, I felt anybody may challenge this. Because the pleasure we derive, we don't see the pain associated with that. I'm honest with you, with my experience, yes. If you are not seeing the pain associated with that, your body is actually being spent. जो भी energy खर्च कर रहा है. When we take birth, this much happiness, this much distress is given. So we are spending that. And we are also spending our breaths. Means we are going closer and closer to the last day. So material objects and possessions, in the name of preaching, in the name of Yukta Vairagya, one day we use this, we try to entertain our Asatrishna. One devotee, a senior devotee said, person who, Rupa Goswami, who wrote Yukta Vairagya, he resigned his prime minister's position, his position in our Zensha's place, and he would live under one tree. They were not applying, see, he spoke about Yukta Vairagya in general, but what was their renunciation? If they had a fear, they would be attached to one tree, so they would stay every day under a different tree. So he said, devotees in ISKCON, we are very, we use this word freely, Yukta Vairagya, but we have to be very careful. Am I devoteeing my Vairagya in proper way? In the name of Krishna, I may do so many things. No. So, as long as we harbor, the material desires, and we develop a hankering and affection for material objects and possessions, I'm honest with you, we will continue in unsteady bhakti. Sometimes there's a problem with ISKCON actually. We identify ourselves with our successes in the preaching. Bhakti Tirtha Swami said, and I told him maybe 100 times, women outnumbered men in ISKCON in going back to God. And he said that. Because whatever they do, most of the people don't know. A preacher does something, world will come to know. And there will be 100 people ready to glorify him. And for that reason, if he is not very careful, he will swallow something, even if he has given it to Guru. Then what happens? Krishna says in Gita, a person who takes the credit is a thief, because it is done by Krishna, it is given by Krishna. So material people who develop, people who develop attachment for material objects and material possessions, they'll continue in Asatrashna area. And Burjan Prabhu writes in this book, we want to go back to Godhead. We want to go back to Godhead, not to serve, but to avoid suffering. He mentions it. Last time in the seminar I mentioned. We want to go back to Godhead to avoid suffering. In 20s and 30s, nobody even perceives in these lectures, because bodies, you like 12 o'clock, you feel hungry. Oh, very nice, eat. I don't eat. So, but in 50s, that will be a aisa trouble lega body, you cannot even imagine. Sarira yati iti sariram. That which is slowly destroyed. Anybody is connected with the medical, doctor will say, come after 6 months. It takes 6 months for the body to manifest the disease. It happens very slowly. Actually, one doctor told me this. What is it? Sarira? Sarira means that which is slowly destroyed. So, that's why, we have to come out of the bodily consciousness. That itself is actually the biggest success. Kadam Kanwara says, if you are in the bodily platform, what is very visible, prominent? Lust. I would enjoy. Hare Krishna. So heavenly comforts, mystic powers. We don't need to use the word heavenly comforts. America comforts, mystic powers, and impossible liberation. Serious. Right? So you get used to a particular lifestyle. I'm sure we all stayed in 2 rooms where 15 people were there. But now we cannot do that. Because you're used to a particular lifestyle. Means, I will practice bhakti in this lifestyle only. That's why Prabhupada made beautiful buildings. Because Prabhupada said everyone is sick. Everyone is poor. Even though he's rich. Why? No bhakti. So Prabhupada said, I can practice bhakti sitting on a tree. But I want to bring everyone into this fold. So that's why, in Yatra also, for devotees from America, one type of accommodations. For Indians, another type of accommodation. Why? You're used, you get addicted to a particular lifestyle after some time. Prabhupada said C.R. Das, he loved Gandhi very much. Then what he did, he gave up his very comfortable position as a lawyer, and he joined full-time in freedom movement. After 1 year, he died. But he couldn't adjust in that lifestyle. It's an addition. But for us to adjust, that's why Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Devi, Radharani, what she does, she by her grace, we will be able to say no to this, they will be able to say no to the material enjoyment, and will try to develop a taste for the spiritual life. Her blessings are needed. Otherwise, Prabhupada said, you will die, because you're not used to it. So, what is that? If somebody is very addicted to comforts, then for them, it's like bhakti is like if and only if I can practice bhakti if this is there. Prabhupada said, no problem. Prabhupada has given so much concession, understanding the conditioning of this world. And some people want, okay, Gadadhar Das would go to forest and he would preach to tigers and lions. I also want little mystic power like Gadadhar Das, only for preaching. So, so what is that? So when it's Falgu Vairagyam. And actually, what is that? Impersonal liberation. Luckily, Vaiskan devotees, Prabhupada preaching is so heavy. We do not know, first of all, so much. But 20-30 years ago, that's what people, the goal of life is just to become one with God. But Prabhupada speaks so heavily from the chapter 1 of Gita. Usually, ISKCON devotees are not victims of this. But if somebody harbors this type of desire, even if he does so much, he'll go nowhere actually. He'll be there only, he or she. And this is very important. Hridaya Daurabhalyam. Actually, one time Bhaktivinoda writes one place, this is triggered by inattentive chanting for a prolonged time. Somebody chants wrong, wrong rounds and bad rounds for a long time, it will also trigger weakness of the heart. And weakness of the heart will trigger envy, name and fame, deceitfulness, fault finding, and attachment to objects not related to Krishna. Thoda, I want little name, and what is the quality of Rajagun? Rajagun people are performers. They are very performers. Vibhishana is not as a great performer as Ravana. Ravana was actually a performer. The problem with Rajagun, or problem with performers in Rajagun is, even if they attain heights of successes in their lives, when they see somebody a little bit better than them, they cannot take it. Rajo ragatmakam within trishna sangha samudbhum. Rajagun keeps on generating new and newer desires. So in other words, anything that we do on Rajagun, it's very happy for Maya, because whatever you build it up, Maya can pull one brick, the whole thing will come down. So one has to this is the thing. We don't need to become depressed, but when we get this, I'm talking to myself. I'm harboring this. We should become humble. One lecture I heard, when you really see inside yourself, you will become humble. If you are a genuine devotee, if you are a true devotee, that will make you humble. Otherwise, we will create a life that is known to outside, a life unknown to outsiders. We have two lives. These two will operate on these two. No? A life that is known to outsiders, a life unknown to them. You know? Dambha. So the third one is, so envy and fame and deceitfulness and fault finding. Deceit, cheating propensity, and we try to find fault with others. The problem of, somebody is a Siksha Guru, their duty is to train. Our system is actually Siksha, But if Siksha Guru keeps on with the motive to elevate the Siksha disciple and keeps on finding fault, one day without his knowledge, it'll become his second nature and he'll get into this area. For sure. He is thinking, I'm trying to help him, but you may be helping him, but you're falling down. In other words, like anybody doing testing, so that's what you do, right? You start writing, this is not working, this is not working, this is not working. Jayadeva Maharaj never went close to Prabhupada because Jayadeva Maharaj is an editor. He said, my nature is to edit, so I'll edit everyone. So I'll edit Prabhupada also. Means Prabhupada, not like this, not like this. So then one time I was listening to lecture. It was amazing actually. Amazing means amazing. In that lecture I heard, even as a Siksha Guru, you have to find fault. First you should feel bad. Gee, I'm in such a wretched position. I have to correct him or her. Because when I am harboring these impurities, you should feel bad for correcting them. But at the same time, it is your service to correct them. So if you really feel bad for doing that, then you will not get into this zone. Otherwise, this will become your second nature. I don't know if you understood. And deceitfulness, attachment to objects not related to Krishna. One lecture I heard, I really touched my heart. I told, many times. When two people have problem, either or both want something other than Krishna. Wow, what a statement. That person, he must have seen a lot in ISKCON and he concluded that. When two people have problem, either or both want something other than Krishna. That is, it's another very, actually these are all Asatrishna only. But why it is separate? This and this one same. But why this is separate? You know they are wrong, still you do it. Hridaya daurbhalyam, durbhala means weak. Because you are weak at heart, you know very well this is wrong. Your ego is there to quote that this is right, and you do it. But in the inner deep recess of the heart, inner core of the heart, I am wrong. Still you do it. One lecture I had, why is there false ego? Only to tell you're right. I have seen many times two people quarrel difference of, and this person, yes, B did this. Perfect. Then why B cannot understand if B is a devotee? And you go to B and you discuss, open it up. Without touching these four, B will tell this, another four. And B is right. And this A and B, they will maintain that animosity between them for the rest of the life. So, Attachment to the objects not related to Krishna, even though we know it should not be done, we still do it. Tattva Brahma. Actually, honestly speaking, we'll stop it here. 79:18. I'm sorry. It's lengthy. Anyone wants to add anything? If you understood, then we'll stop it. Otherwise, we'll go to the important part of the program. Prasad. Yes, Deep.
I put it in the light is coming towards the end. You shared really, really beautiful points. One thing which I realized is actually most of the questions can be answered from there itself, why I'm doing what I'm doing. But one thing I couldn't still interpret is through. You shared a beautiful point about mentality of the escapism. Why I want to go to the spiritual world because I want to run away from suffering. I see myself in that shoes and I struggle to actually go beyond that platform to keep it, this much happiness and this much suffering. Such a prominent and this is like a purpose of the whole life. How do I get away with that? I don't want to be an escapist. I know it, I am an escapist, but somehow I'm not able to cross over that state.
I mean, when what is it? There is a Sambandha Jnana, there is Abhideya Jnana. And also Prayojana, we should know what is going to happen. First of all, we should be clear about Sambandha Jnana. That will give us the impetus to go forward. Second thing is, I also have the same thing. What is that? The false ego is the rope that binds the soul to the body. So, unless we go through why Mahaprabhu gave third verse as a Pranada Visunichana, why not fourth as third and third as fourth? Means everyone has to go through this tiny hole. Then only other things we can give it up. Without that, we cannot give it up. For that, you should be convinced of the Sambandha Jnana. I am not the body, but a spirit soul, theoretically at least. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am honest with you, for an enjoyer, it's very difficult to hear the word surrender to Krishna. I should surrender to God. It's difficult. So, Sambandha Jnana, if you acquire properly, then that will give us strength to practice all the points of Avidiya. I should do this, I should avoid all these things, I should follow these things, I should give up these things. But when we are not comfortable, when we are not convinced of the Sambandha Jnana, then you will default on Avidiya, the actual process. And so your goals will be, I want to be there, I am doing these things, is what I told. I did not take vow to chant this, follow 4 agreed principles. I took vow for 16 rounds. Then I'll do this. I did not take vow for Bhagavatam class. So one lecture I heard, 4 regulative principles and for 16 rounds, that give you qualification to read Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam will tell you so many things to give it up. Day one, if they are told to you, you'll never come to Krishna consciousness. So many, because we are, without our knowledge, we are endeavoring to declare war on that false ego. And as in the beginning I said, you are not there, I think. Because of our presence in the material world for a very long time, attachment to the matter has colored our mind. Karmatmakam, fruitive. Anita Prabhu said, there is a WIIFM TV. What is in it for me? You did great, amazing, congratulations. So we are like that fruitive mentality that we have been harboring for so many lifetimes. So anything that we say is only theory. That's why theory, but what we have to do consciously, be convinced of the Sambandha Jnana. Then when Sambandha Jnana is clear, you will apply all the points of Abhideya. So it is difficult. I told one day, what is that? Before you came in, I told today only. In Gitanagari, this Prabhu asked, whenever you speak about the Suklambar Brahmachari, Haridas Thakur, and all these great personalities, it's painful. We have 10 years also, we are the same where we were. Radhanaswami said, continue, Prabhu. One day without your knowledge, you will be elevated. You don't even know that. Zup. He'll be elevated. So when we see our faults, it should not cause us depression. It should make us humble. If everyone in the temple becomes humble, Roji, the numbers will multiply. If somebody in the home, if spouse sees the other spouse very humble, that person will change tomorrow. What has made him humble or made her humble? Why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is able to tell I'm a worm in the stool, and why I'm unable to tell? I may quote him. Means I'm not sufficiently looking inside. Maharaj said he meant it, not that, we are also in ISKCON, we are trained to speak so well after staying for this much long time. But he said, why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorious? He meant it. In our case, we speak it. We don't mean it. So impurities should not cause depression in us. It should make us humble. Then, humble person, believe me, he'll not offend anybody. Humble person, wants to take a back seat. Why in Christianity, meek and humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. Why this statement is there? Why only meek and humble? Nowhere it is said performers will become the, they'll become the recipient of mercy. They'll inherit the kingdom. Only meek and humble. We all know the story, Brahman and cobbler. Why cobbler could make it? Why not Brahmana? Narayan says he is million lifetimes. Because philosophy, all these things, it will put us on a platform where we go away. What is that? Satyaduram. Satyaduram means we should not go away from the reality. When we go close to the soul platform, soul is humble. Because I'm tiny anyway. 10 power minus 4 tip of the hair. As long as we don't realize that, all these problems persist. That's what I can tell. What do you think? Yes, sir. Well, what? Over enthusiasm. Over enthusiasm to? Not necessary. Go ahead.
So, the question is actually I misunderstood. The question is that sometimes our over enthusiasm, we don't understand it came from passion, as you said, due to activity and trouble in the mind. So, and how to analyze that coming from passion or compassion for ourselves on any service. The most of the time is passion.
Compassion is the quality of somebody who is in bhava stage. One time I heard a lecture. I heard many lectures of Radhanath Swami. I have to quote him. He said, we don't have compassion, we have only passion. We want to become instrument of compassion of Srila Prabhupada. This is a statement he mentioned. And why should I be instrument of Srila Prabhupada? No doubt, Prabhupada, there is nobody equal to Prabhupada actually. But when somebody is standing on the road at 0 degrees, you feel compassionate. Then I was reading, compassion is the quality of somebody who has attained the stage of bhava. Then I realized, that line is perfect. I am not on bhava stage means I don't have compassion, I have only passion. Coming back to your question, always if there is it's enthusiasm or it's passion or compassion, simple is sit and talk. Go and talk one-to-one. How can I make this better? Actually, miscommunication is one of the reasons. Miscommunication, there's nothing wrong, we all do mistakes actually. Speak, whether it's family, devotees, go and talk, because you did not tell a specific situation. You use the word generic. Your question is very generic. That's what I'm telling. So I made it based on your question. You said compassion or passion. Probably we have only passion. That's fine. Actually, one time Jaguru told me, without consulting senior devotees, if you do anything 97%, I don't know why he came up with this number 97 or why he didn't tell 99. He said that 97% of time you do wrong things, he said. Ah, that's too much, I thought. So best thing is, I mean, but one good thing is with devotees, we should always go and speak. Check. Talk and open it up. Guidance is definitely needed. There is one word called break the ice. One has to break the ice. So if it is one person, just one-to-one is better. If it is family, it's even better actually. Right now, all the lectures, all the slokas are related to family. One-to-one is better. If it is at home, so talk, this is what I felt. What do you think? But let me tell you, I have seen this. I did mention this in the book actually I wrote. Kali Yuga, you have a sweet relationship with somebody, whether it's a wife or husband or children or friends, devotees. 11th year, there will be one difference of opinion, disagreement in the board meeting or whatever. And after that, you come together, Maya will tell you and him, he did this to you, he did this to you. The environment will be very heavy for next 1-2 years if you don't break it up. I have seen this live again and again and again. So we have to break the ice. We have to clear the air. How many of you agree? In your home also, right? No, child has to do like this way. No, child has to do this. No. It's a sweet family. Actually, children are the cause of problems in some families actually. Husband become, wife and husband, they become really like loggerheads, and forgetting all the past friendship. It's not just wife and husband, it's with devotees also. Clear it up. So, does it answer your question? I'm just telling you, speak, ask, check. But many times I said, without our knowledge, you all should know, our mind is actually a transmitter. You come inside, but he came again. You didn't say anything. So that person, you're only one here in the room. You come inside and it'll go and touch him or her. You're nonsense number one. But in this room, the envelope becomes so heavy. So they're not speaking. That person comes inside, is offering obeisances, and so you're also here. that will go and say, they're talking without even, they're maintaining like a 20 feet distance. They're talking. They don't know. They're talking. This is my research for so long. Yes, so wait. Huh? Perfect. So like, for example, Sri Gopal came, amazing. Probably you will get the type of surge of enthusiasm, like 5 people here. You feel welcomed. 20 people here out of 2019. Abba, I see here. Probably without your knowledge, you'll take one step back. I'm honest with you. You'll take one step back. I don't want to go inside. What's the party happening? And if there are 6 people, out I say 6, 7 people, 4 people said, Chico police here, Baba, he came. Why is he here? These 2 will touch him. And one leg will go forward, one leg will go backward. But because it's 4 plus 3, 4 is more, 3 is less, you'll go inside. This works. In Africa, when they want to kill a tree, big tree, it takes 1 month. What they will do? Every day they'll go to the tree and say, you're good for nothing, you're useless, you're a bum. They speak like 4 days and they'll cut the tree in 1 day. The tree becomes weak. Trees understand English or Swahili, whatever language. Any language they understand. So clarification is better question. Does it answer the question?
When you mentioned then dealing with a senior devotee and to hear with a friend, that's where the connection came from. In that over enthusiasm,
when we are dealing with senior devotees, we are not able to, that is what the question is, I think, referring to. Prabhuji is referring to that.
I said, because it is generic, I said, if it is senior devotee, go and clarify, as simple as that. I touched that, So just clarify and, devotees are not unreasonable. I have seen that. So, I can clarify. Yes.
Regarding being humble, right? Because we've heard so many classes, we've seen a lot of devotees who are really humble. So, in my experience, it's not that too difficult to be humble in certain situations. The problem is being humble all the time. So, the situation happens, we take down, especially here in temple setting.
Math is
you make
laughing.
mistake.
No, Prabhu, the same things are transmitting. She's also asking the same thing. The transmitter is on here.
Oh, really?
Yes, you're
Interesting. Wow. So many radios.
Temple setting, we, happens, right? That you make mistake, sometimes you realize and you clarify. Sometimes, did I make mistake? Not make, but he made mistake. Sometimes it's not possible. I mean, so how to have that in a more or the consistent way of having that understanding of being humble and, practically. Theoretically, we understand, but practically not always possible. I mean, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you are talking about me. Probably at least sometimes you're humble. I'm not humble at all. Let me tell you. I have this quality. But anyway, one time one lady came. She's American. She said, I'm very successful in my life. Anything I wanted, I worked very hard, I got it. Whether it is a manager position, American, but she's a software manager actually, this like 15 years. So for me, it's very difficult to humble. So the devotee answered, act humble. He said that. I don't know why he said that, but act humble. This will please Krishna. Vaishnavism is, bhakti means beyond being right. Rather than focusing who is right, who is wrong. Let me, because for example, if you defeat somebody to bring them Krishna conscious, then bring them to Krishna consciousness. Probably you'll win the battle, but you'll lose the war. Their ego is so much hurt, they will never come to Krishna consciousness. So probably it'll satisfy your ego. You may tell 10 people also, he asked this, I said this, and he shut off. But he'll never come to Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya, Prakasana Saraswati, what he did, he sat there. And he did first 1 hour, what is that, Keshav Kashmiri. He looks so tired, go and take rest and come tomorrow. Because Lord Chaitanya did not want to defeat Keshav Kashmiri in public. He may end his life also, because he's just a grammar teacher. So what he did in a private setting, so this Bhavan, that verse, Bhavani Bharta Sloka, you look like so tired, you just came, you're on the way, don't worry, come, let us talk tomorrow. So he defeated him, he preserved his dignity. Look, he's Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he knew how to do it, but we cannot do that. So thing is, Bhakti Swami says, the 4 principles of community building. When something happens, it's difficult for me, honestly speaking. For when I read it first time, I cannot apply this. But you say I'm wrong. Then what happens? You are able to open other person's heart. When you get into problem, both hearts are closed. I told, right? Kali Yuga, of course, oxygen is high. You say, what do you mean oxygen is high? So much pollution. Oxygen means to create more fire, what is needed? Oxygen is needed. It is more here actually. All doors to Kali, quarrel. So what we have to do to allow that person to open for a conversation, we need to go one step down. I've seen this, you give powerful classes, people will appreciate it, but you become humble, that will touch their hearts more. I'm surprised actually. People will not appreciate your scholarly ability, people appreciate your humility more than scholarly ability. How many of you agree? I think it's a quality of the soul. So I agree with you. We are all being trained. We are receiving training. But best thing is, your question, it's office, one way you have to behave. And at home, you have to behave one way. If it is devotees, you have to behave another way. Same principle will not work in 3 places. No. Whatever applies in the office, same thing you apply at home, it will backfire. If whatever you apply at home, if you apply in the office, it will be exploited. Whatever you apply in with devotees, you cannot apply in the office. So these 3 areas. And the way you deal with your spouse, you cannot deal with your children. Family means to teach them behavior. Philosophy doesn't work. Whether it is children or spouse, philosophy doesn't work. Or parents, we know you day one. No matter what you do, we know you very well. Familiarity, I think you cannot avoid. One time going through said this, if you are not deep, you will become a victim of surroundings. I want to tell him, even if you are deep, you are a victim of surroundings. Victim means you will blend in that. So conclusion is there is no straight answer. Thing is, we try our best. It's not easy for me because I'm a failure in that area. Actually, honestly speaking, I learned from Shama Krishna and Shama Shiv. They are amazing. So the thing is, when you go one step down, it will open. You will get so many gifts actually. You say I'm your servant, maaf karo. Other people will cry, bro. If you go one step down, means you're opening it up actually. It's a little late. I'll end it here. Okay, Professor, yes.
Very nice class. So many different types of. So if you look at myself, looks like I'm committing 30 minutes and
You're talking about me.
And looks like I'm not doing anything that is not offensive. You said the area economic, like something, I'm not able to realize that I'm really good.
Being born naked is not wrong, but to continue to be naked is wrong, somebody said. We are all born naked, but somewhere we have to start. Realizing that, मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ. So, again, they should not make us feel depressed, it should make us humble. Recently, I read something and I don't know whether I should share with you or not. I was really, no, probably I should not share because, So the point is, in Jerusalem, it's all a desert area. In desert area, what is the animal that is used? Camel. But for you to enter to the Jerusalem, it's a very tiny pathway. Even if you're a rich man, in those days, whoever is very rich would have more camels, 1,000 camels. Its richness is counted in terms of camels. But if you want to enter into Jerusalem, you have to get on the camel and you have to bend, kneel down and walk through the door. Then only you can enter into Jerusalem. For them, Jerusalem is kingdom of God. That is how this principle came. Meek and humble shall. If you don't have any camel, you don't need to waste so much time. Where will I park my camel? If you don't have so many possessions, it's very easy to crawl through the door, through the whatever, threshold. So, what is that? When we start cultivating these qualities, then we'll go. Honestly speaking, I'll tell you this story. Whenever I told the story of a Brahman and cobbler, up till probably last year, I was convinced I'm cobbler. After 20 years, I'm convinced I'm a Brahmana. Means Narayan tells, for Brahmana to come back to Godhead, it takes 1 crore lifetimes. You all remember the story, right? Cobbler this lifetime, Brahmana, it takes 10 million. 10 million is 1 crore. 20 years. Whenever I tell story, I will tell very comfortably. I'm the cobbler. I'm not a Brahmana. But now I start realizing I am Brahmana. Means I need to wait that many lifetimes. That is actually causing little fear in my heart. One lecture I heard where Anandarundan Prabhu said, I have a fear I lose the bus. That fear is very good. You will never lose the bus. As long as if you have that fear, you will think twice before offending devotees. You will think twice before you find fault with others. You think twice before, you do any non-Krishna conscious activity. But if you think this will work very good, you ask a big, which you're chanting 6 months. I heard this actually. How is it chanting? Amazing. It's going on very well. You ask any, like a little bit, not even super mature, 5, 6, like in 10 years, 5, 6 years, how is your chanting? You're trying my best. Because they know there is always something further. So anyway, my point is we have to start somewhere. We understand, but that's why I said, even though Anishtita Bhakti is little, it's prolonged phase, it has 2 good qualities. Klesha and Subhada. It is very auspicious. Second thing, it'll burn your mental distress. All experiencing, and the benefits of Krishna consciousness, you agree or not? Definitely. So with that consciousness, we should go forward because you have made huge progress. Don't give it up. You already jumped in the pool. You're in the midway. Don't try to come back. Go forward. Because whatever the credit, whatever the effort you have made, whatever the credit you got, it is eternal. Little more only. Another 50%. What do you say?
There's about almost started saying something negative, and he says, "Slowly, I don't want to be."
Amazing.
So that's his quality.
He did what he did. Can we chant one? Amazing. You don't chant it. Actually, I said, "Will three mantras." He said, "For now." Yes, I will finish.
One clarification and one award.
I want this robot back, please.
Just give me 1 minute. Somebody is speaking. Probably is. Listen. Can somebody please mute my request?
My Lord is powerful. I am weak.
What are you looking for? वो एक बार क्रॉस चेक करें नहीं है मिस ना और करेक्ट स्नैपशॉट
Ajay Prabhu, can you mute?
Okay. So, Ajay Prabhu, please, Prabhu. I am not the host. Oh, he mute. Okay, that's it. So anyway,
हेलो
Ajay Prabhu, please mute Prabhu.
हेलो
Can you please mute? No, but the devotees are listening. Okay. Okay, that's okay. So, among endeavors, materialists, they, what is it? I mentioned this. This Prabhu, he works 8 hours per square. and he works another 8 hours for another company. He works for 16 hours every day. The CEO. Amma, if he works to make money, that much driven, how much driven should we be for Krishna? It's all temporary. And people, what is another company? Is a CEO of people and a Square. He works 8 hours for initially, 8 hours for people, and 8 hours for a Square. So we should not. Can you, Prabhupada, what is his drive? We should the best. Saraswati Thakur started with 0, 60,000 disciples. Prabhupada came to America, the properties Prabhupada acquired because of his purity. It's extraordinary. So we should go like a needle, come out like a plow. You know, Prabhupada said, if only they knew what I came to do, they would not have allowed me to come. Peter Burrow said, Prabhupada came to America. He was the only salesman where there is no sales pitch at all, where there is no sales ground. There were no customers. He created his sales pitch. He created own customers. Everything he did it. Not that people are, okay, iPhone. Everyone is buying iPhone. Nobody was waiting for Krishna consciousness. But he created his sales pitch. He created his customers also. He created his sales ground. That is great. So, Mahotsaha distributed first time 900 books. Wow, great. Then he distributed 1400 books and broke the record. Then he distributed 3000 books one day. Up to 3 o'clock, he did in Chicago. We must have done probably, he said, like 300, 400 books. But the next 6 hours, 3 to 8, not 6 hours, 5 hours, the rest of the things happened. So Krishna saw his enthusiasm. Okay, if you calculate, every 2 minutes he has to give one Bhagavatam set. Small books, 32 books. To attain that 2,400 books, I don't think I have ever distributed 3,000 books in my life, actually. Read that in one day. So the point is the empowerment. You do it up to one level, Krishna will do the rest. We are talking, he has 19 full-timers. Of 19 full-timers, only 2 are Indians and 17 Americans only. Brahmachari American, 17. Else, what is his, maybe continue, maybe a sannyasi in the past life and so many desires left, I think. So anyway, the answer is we should be humble in our demeanor. But yeah, when you hit the stone, all these sannyasis, like this only, their drive, whether it's Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Jayapada Maharaj, Radhana Swami, sky is the limit. Honestly speaking, materialists, when they hit the success, they become very, is devotees. I don't have anything. You cannot gaze anything. You cannot, because you don't know dimag mein kya chal raha hai. Jayapada Maharaj sits next to you. Where are you going? Calcutta. Okay. So did you ever visit Mayapur? So humble. Okay, he'll take the phone numbers, everything. These guys, they don't know anything about him. Sometimes he takes them to in his own van. Once they reach, then they'll come to Narabha. He's like a giant. So what is the next question? We'll finish it. I'm sorry.
The next question will be, you mentioned our mind is in mode of goodness, but being so much in material world, it changes to mode of passion. So we have heard when a child is born, we carry from our previous so many
Impressions.
so many impressions. But in the womb, the child prays, like Krishna, don't let me fall. So up to how many years, how does this changing happens that we fall, like it's very difficult to move back to mode of goodness all the time. The child is also praying. After how many years this complete shift happens? And
Jay,
is there a way we can like do something so that it can be prolonged?
answer is this, we'll finish it in a little minutes. Jayavdaram Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions, when the Jiva, is supposed to go back to Godhead, what he does is attracted to metal energy, he comes into Pradhan. Pradhan has avidya and ahankar. So that's where you have acquired. Ahankar, impelled by ahankar, Jiva, soul, identifies with the body. There, not here. Before the creation happened. Creation was even not ready. That's where when you think you're this body, so you acquire ahankar and avidya. So then when you have got avidya and ahankar, these two, then you're sent into this metal world. What is the reaction? Bhayam diti abhinivesha tasya words. You'll identify with whatever you're absorbed in. You're absorbed in your body consciousness. Because when the moment when you're absorbed in body consciousness, already avidya is there, ignorance is there, and ahankar is there. So impelled by ahankar and avidya, soul thinks I am this body. When soul thinks I am this body, the by default mind that is in mode of goodness will change to passion.
But what happens even if the child remembers?
Listen. That time first, how many times? I asango him, I am Purusha. You are in this world for so many billions and billions of lifetimes. First time when you came down from the spiritual world to material world, you're talking about 2002, the child. No, that child is coming with so much of ahankar already. His mind is in passion only. Radhana Swami says, Hitler parents might have thought, so cute child. But what are there in his mind? How many desires? How to kill on a wholesale lot? You are not, this is not this lifetime. Then you said we prayed. Prayer by pure soul. Actual pious soul, not pure soul, pious soul. A person who is very advanced in the previous lives, they pray. My Lord, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions, my Lord, I'm stuck in this world. Please get me out. I will definitely dedicate this lifetime to you. But once you're pushed out, Maya will catch you and you forget. That's how Buliya Tumhare Samsara is that verse. But anyway, the moral is, now we are here. You should try your best. Better when you take birth, this much happiness, this much distress is fixed. Prabhupada says, what is not fixed? How much progress you make in bhakti, that is not fixed. It is your endeavor. You understand? When what is his name, our Parikshit Maharaj was born, everything was written. He'll be beaten with Takshaka, then he'll do the great things at the end, then Bhagavatam will come into existence. Everything is written. But in our case, what is not fixed is how much progress we make. Many things that this, you'll go to America is written in your, if somebody is there, would have told this. Prabhupada was born, okay, at the age of 70, will cross ocean. It's written. What is not determined is how much progress you make. You'll go to another, the Nishtha stage or Ruchi stage, Asakti Bhava, up to what stage? That is your endeavor. Whatever level you reach, of course, Lord Chaitanya's grace, Prabhupada said ISKCON is there in spiritual world. Prabhupada picks up great. Otherwise, he'll continue from maybe, what is that, Ruchi stage, next level, something like that. Okay, so I'm sorry. Thank you very much. If I spoken anything wrong, do excuse me as your humble servant. Whatever I said, those impurities I harbor, please forgive me. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki